I saw a video of somebody being like, I can't imagine writing a 3-page paper without some sort of help from a AI source. And I want to talk about this for my own personal experience because I get it. I get it. And personally, I've always been much better at like math and like science and things that are like right or wrong, correct or incorrect. Like when you do math, you either got the answer or you didn't. So it was easier to me to comprehend like you did it right or you did it wrong. Move on. Cool. How do I do it right? Okay, this is how. Now I understand. Boom, move on. And which is a very vague way to say it, of course, but with things like writing papers and with things like English or with things like, speeches or free writing or any of these kinds of things, even this kind of stuff, like there's a bit more risk involved. There's a bit more risk involved. Whether that's like when you're in 8th grade and you're writing a fucking essay about a movie you watched in class, or whether you're in like an academic setting where you have to write a thesis statement that either gets you your degree or it doesn't. There's a bit more risk in that kind of thing because it's more subjective. It is more subjective. And it's more subjective because it's not like there is a right answer or a wrong answer. I always made this joke where I was like, yeah, I write an essay and it's good and it's bad and somehow I got a C minus. Like, but it's true. And people are having a lot of issues right now with like AI and with like falling back on that. Like falling back on AI and using it so much so to where they can't even write just for fun. And I get it. Like I get where it comes from aside from the AI part. I get the insecurity. I've always been so insecure about like my ability to speak coherently, my ability to explain something and have other people understand exactly what I'm trying to say or exactly like the context of what I'm trying to talk about. Like that's always been insecure for me because I'm like, no, I want these people to understand exactly what I'm trying to say without me over explaining and without me under explaining, with the right tone, with the right blah 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 flow, all of this kind of stuff that's like context. And it's learned. That's learned. You got to practice it. You got to do it. You got to work the machine. I get it. But then people and this is where I get tripped up and I understand. It throws me off when I have to use like a cited source or a blah blah blah. I understand them. I understand fully. It's like, hey, you want to actually use correct information, factual information, good sources, etc. I understand that. But I think that sometimes people get tripped up even when it's something that's not that. Like if there's a different, let's say that there's in college, you got to write an essay, you got to have 3 sources cited. People are more likely, I feel like, to use an AI source or a digital source or some sort of cheating to be like, hey, tell me the sources, let's get this over with. But what scares me is it's like if you had an assignment that you just had to free write and then you use an AI source. Like when you don't need to source something at all, you don't need to use the factual, it's just what you think. It's just in this moment, make a 10-minute video of you chatting about something. And you can't just think about something. That's where I'm concerned. Because, hey, there's sometimes where you have to write a paper that you don't give a fuck about. That you don't give a fuck. Like, there'll be the history of, the Industrial Revolution and how we went from this machine to that machine. And if you don't care about that kind of thing, and you just gotta, copy paste, use a thing, I get why. Because you don't care about that kind of stuff. I understand. Maybe you don't care about that kind of stuff. But if it's something where someone's like, hey, free write 1 whole page about your opinion on something. Here's the design of the Dr. Pepper can. Write a 1-page paper on describing this and what your thoughts are on it and about the success of this. And there's people who cheat that. And it concerns me because it really shows. I'm like, there are some people who it's not even a thought about the cheating. It's not even cognitive about like, oh, I don't want to do this. It's not even a thought about that. It's like, I'm going to cheat. Here's the answer. And they're using the same like math way, like in the way that I use the math way of like, hey, is this right or is this wrong? Boom. They're using these outlets to just immediately make it correct without even like having that possibility of being right or wrong. And I just made a video about this with thrifting and stuff like that too. So it's kind of, it is more fulfilling when you write something or you say something or you create something, right? It is more fulfilling when you created something and did well in it than it is for you to cheat and do well on it. And this is just subjective, but it's like if I'm going to write a paper about the Industrial Revolution and I do my research and I'm like, I don't give a fuck about this thing. I don't care. I don't like this thing. Like, whatever. And I write my paper on it and the paper does well. Boom. I'm like, oh yeah, I fucking wrote that paper and I didn't even care and I didn't even like that thing. But it's like when you write something, when it's not even you writing it and you do well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to you because that wasn't even you. It was you saying copy paste, give me the fucking paper, boom, boom. So like, let's like, if you get a good grade in the class, if you're like, yeah, I passed with a B. Did you? Did you get that degree or did somebody else, the fact that somebody else wrote a paper, and then this goes into a whole thing of where they get their sources from and who stole what art, blah, blah. But it's like if you got a grade in something and you didn't even write a single fucking thing for that class, which I'm not to say that I haven't done this before. I get it. I've been there. I understand. But it's like if you're going to bullshit your entire scholastic experience, work experience, otherwise, I saw a video of somebody who ChatGPT'd their wedding vows. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? To that point, I'm like, you can't, like, hey, if you write something for your wedding vows and it's not cool or it's not good or it doesn't hit and it's not heartfelt, yeah, you can talk to somebody about that. You can get advice on that. And if it doesn't hit and you're just not maybe so good with words, sure. If you're not good with words, but it's real, that's more understandable than using an AI robot source, an artificial source, to create something that you're then taking like all of the credit of to speak on and act as if that was where you came from. And it's inauthentic. It's fully inauthentic. And like, I understand AI as a tool. I think it's okay as a tool sometimes. I think it's okay in like the learning part and the like, if I don't understand the concepts of the Industrial Revolution, if I don't understand that, and I did this the other day. I didn't understand Marxism because we were talking about Marxism. And I was like, I think I get it, but I don't get it. And I went and I looked it up and I said, hey, give me a 1-page broken down about this topic, this topic, this topic. And it broke it down and I looked at it and I said, oh, okay, cool. So now if somebody asks me about Marxism, like, yeah, it's this whole conversation between the higher lower, between the like worker and the what is it called, leader, like this kind of stuff. Like it's for the learning part. And even then I don't even fully know, because it's like it's not going to teach you that. It's not going to teach you that. And it kind of makes me it makes me fully lose hope in people sometimes, because I'm like, you don't write for fun for yourself. You're not creating for fun for yourself. You don't even know what you want to do, because you're just doing the things that people, the school systems or the whatever work systems or stuff tell you have to do. So much so that's like, hey, if you want AI to write something for you so that you have time to do something else, 100%. 100%. If you're taking a general ed math class that you don't want to do and you need to learn this shit quick and you got to understand it, boom, 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 cool. But if you're doing that and that's like how you function, what's the point? What's the point? We're losing it. We're losing our ability to speak with our brains that we have, that are specific to your life experience, to who you are, to what your opinions are. And those are all that you have. And it's like, if we're not doing that anymore, then what's the fucking point? Then what's the fucking point? Look at my lava lamp. It's so cool.